So let's talk a little bit about your career, how you started out with, as a child. We know that your mother was the initiator of your chess career, I think, if I know it well, because I know you wrote a book also, and that I was reading and got some information from there too. How was your first experience, very, very first moment that you can remember that you saw the chessboard and you had some interesting feelings about it?
This happened when I was 6 years old, and I vaguely recall my bedroom at that time, and I think my elder brother and sister were playing chess there, and I wanted to join. So I immediately went to my mother and said, teach me how to play. And that's how it kind of got started. Then a few months later, I think my family did not know if this was a one-day thing or that it was serious. But a few months later, they realized, okay, I'm still going to the chessboard, trying to look at this and that. And they thought, well, if he's so interested, maybe we can put him in a club and he might enjoy it. So luckily, there was a chess club very close to where my sister was studying. And so she said, let me take him there. So my mother took me there. People had the impression about chess players that they were slightly old, that many of them smoke and things. So my mother wanted to check everything out. So she came with me just to see, is it a good place to leave him and so on. But then she was happy. They were a nice bunch of guys, big chess fans, all of them. Very good chess community. Even though India was not a big chess power then, still, the people running the Tal Chess Club and all were very passionate. They would, very great volunteers for chess. So I then started to go to this club. I remember the timings. It was Monday evening, 5:30 to 9:30. Thursday evening, the same. Second Saturdays, I don't know why they had this, but they had the second Saturday of every month it was open in the evening. And Sundays, it was open from 11 in the morning till 7 in the evening. So what I would do is I would go every Monday and Thursday. And then Saturday evenings, I'd finish all my homework so that I was completely free on Sunday. And Sunday, just go and spend 5 hours there and come back at 4 or 5 in the evening. So this was the rough. I remember going to my first chess tournament because I lost most of my games there, of course. I won one by forfeit, probably because I was paired at the bottom already. And I got a book for perseverance because I turned out, even though I was losing, I went there for every game till the end, all 9 rounds.
I guess it was completely right from them because you have your own kid yourself, your son. I have 2 kids. And I think it's so important to teach them, right? To have the perseverance, because if you have it, it means that it's one of the most important things to succeed. When was the moment when you yourself understood that you're talented and that, well, maybe I want something more from this than just a game?
I don't think you have such a moment, actually. Or at least in my case, I cannot recall a moment where I thought, I can actually do this. By the time I was maybe 8 or 9, I understood that it meant a lot because I was thinking a lot about the game and it mattered to me. If I was playing well, was I improving? Was I becoming a slightly better junior? Was I progressing? All these things started to matter. My informant mattered a lot to me. My chess books mattered to me. I wanted to go to the club. So this typical mentality of a chess player where you're aware that you're supposed to get better, and if you make a mistake, it annoys you, that sort of thing. But did I have a moment when I actually thought I can make a living from chess? I think once Danny King described it like this. He said, you don't decide to become a chess player, you just decide not to become something else. It's almost like that. And I think I really came from this direction. But I was very lucky with the timings. Many people, when they finish school, they finish university, these are the moments when they sit and hesitate. They think, should I become a chess player? Is it realistic? Will I make enough money? Is it a good career? And so on. But I was very lucky because in school, I won my first national title. Then when I finished school, I became a grandmaster within a few months. And then when I finished university, I had finished playing Karpov in my candidates match. And I was already in the top 10. I was number 9 in the world at that point. And then it was clear to me that number 9, I was getting invited to the best tournaments. I was playing in the Linares, in Munich, but is that the moment I decided to become a chess player? I'm sure I decided to become a chess player much earlier. It's just that was the moment I, how shall I put it, stopped pretending.
Were your parents pushing you to finish university, or was it obvious for you
No,
also
it was
that
my
you want?
idea. It was my idea. I just felt it's a good idea to do it, and I don't know why. I thought it's healthy to go to university, meet students, make friends, all that, and I didn't see why I should not do it. Maybe there was a social pressure as well. My parents were quite okay with whatever decision I took. I think already when I became a grandmaster, they realized, okay, he'll survive, So it's a, it'll be a reasonable career. But I decided to continue with university anyway, and
What was the moment when you decided to come over to Europe? I remember when we met first in 1988, Thessaloniki, at the Chess Olympiad, and then Frederick Friedel, we both knew, and a friend, he said, "Well, Vishy, why don't you just go over to Budapest? Why not?" And then already you were spending quite a lot of time in Europe, and you came over to Budapest to visit us. I remember very vividly that we had a great time, a lot of joking, playing chess. It was seeable that, of course, your brain was like a blade. You were like seeing everything. You were always reading newspapers, magazines, whatever we had over there. So it was a very unique and special experience for us, obviously, because at the time you were fantastically great already. And when did you move to Europe? Because that was a serious commitment by you, right? That as chess was not very professional at the time in India, and actually you were the first grandmaster. How was that decision? How did you take it, and how were your parents reacted on that decision?
okay, so already from 88, 89, I was traveling quite often. I would go to typically to Germany, to Frederick's place, that was a kind of base, or I would go to Amsterdam to my friend Albert Toby's house, and I would stay with him. So these were the two places where I spent a lot of time in between tournaments and all that. And then I would travel around. It was messy. It was even before Schengen. So literally, I would go to Hamburg, go to the Dutch embassy there, apply for a visa, go back to Amsterdam. It was a totally different time. I remember being very happy when Schengen came. I was the happiest, more than any European. But so I was traveling a lot. I was playing thing, but I was going back and forth to India, and it was a funny setup. So very quickly the idea came, well, why don't you look at a place in Europe? I mean, already I was a strong grandmaster. I could support myself, and I thought it made sense. I remember maybe 91, 92, the idea crossed my head. My first thought was maybe Amsterdam, because of course Holland had a very good chess scene then. They had Zee, but they also had BSB, they had Interpolis, they had Groningen, they had so many events happening. The time of the Timon boom. And Holland was very tempting. I thought about it seriously. But in the meantime, I became very friendly with this couple from Spain, Mauricio Nieves. And I mean, for the audience, I can also say that they almost became like my second parents. And suddenly, Spain became an obvious choice. I was visiting them a lot. I was slowly learning a few words of Spanish, getting a bit better. And it wouldn't have been my first choice before because of the language barrier. But once that was kind of overcome, Spain became a very tempting prospect. And in the end, that's where I went to. I bought my place in Spain in 94. Already it was getting tiresome going back and forth. So rather than the idea to move to Europe didn't come then. It was the opposite way. I had moved to Europe and then I decided I should stop living off a suitcase. So it came in the opposite direction. I was already spending so much time there. It made sense to have a base, to reduce the amount of travel I did, and to be able to work more consistently with Ubi Lava, who was my trainer then, and all that.